Hello, my love bug babies. I am back with another video, and guess who's joining me? Stitch! Let me know in the comments, guys, if you ever watched Lilo and Stitch growing up. One of my favorite characters. He's so lovely and adorable. But anyways, today I'm talking about empathy, and I really want to get into the ins and outs of how to be empathetic for other people and not to confuse empathy with sympathy. Because I find that I used to do that growing up. I thought being empathetic was the same thing as being sympathetic once upon a time. Like, that was ages ago, but I learned, I was like, oh my gosh, that's two totally different things. Like, I mean, it's so easy to get them confused, I'm not gonna lie, but there's a huge difference. Sympathy is when you feel bad for someone, and it's like you just, you're like, oh, poor baby type thing. But empathy is like, wow, like, you are really going through a lot. Let me feel where you're coming from. Let me resonate with that pain or that happiness. You're really excited, so let me resonate with that feeling. I feel excited as well for you. Like, you're doing an amazing job. Like, that would be empathy. And another thing about empathy is that it's not just negative. Like, sympathy is just, you feel bad for someone. You sympathize. That's it. It's like, oh, okay, I feel bad for that person. I'm showing them sympathy. Empathy is, okay, either or. I'm truly excited for this person, or I'm upset for this person because I understand their pains and I can resonate with either or. Sometimes it can be a mixture of good and positive emotions. Empathy covers all sides of the spectrum, even a middle ground. It has a gray area as well, like, it can be kind of confusing at times. It can be challenging to, like, really pinpoint how you're feeling at times, but because you're taking a lot doing that. But the trick is, you want to feel for people, but you don't want to take in all of the energy. I mean, like, leave it where it's at. Like, let that be their emotions and theirs alone. I mean, now if you're an empath, that's a whole different thing. I'm gonna get into that for another video, a separate video. I don't want to throw being an empath into this one, because being an empath is way different than just showing empathy. Like, we all have the ability to be empathetic with other people. And that's a beautiful thing. That's a part of our humanity. It's what makes us human overall, is the fact that we can resonate with each other and we can connect with each other and we can truly understand each other's situations. And that's all empathy really is placing yourself in that person's shoes, getting a deeper understanding of their perspective, because you're almost becoming that person. It's just like you truly feel what they're saying, what they're going through, negative or positive, doesn't really matter. The point is to not be so quick to judge people, because you don't know if that's going to happen to you. That's the thing with the way society is set up and the way we've become so desensitized to people's pains and their trials and tribulations and even their happiness. Like, a lot of people just can't even resonate with each other because of the judgment. Don't pass so much judgment. Don't be so quick to pass judgment on other people, because you don't know if that's going to be you today, tomorrow, next week, in a couple of months, in a few hours, whatever. Like, there's no time limit on karma. All of that, all of that is significant, because how you treat others can affect how you can be treated in your life as well. So try to be more open-minded. Try to have more of an open heart and listen to people more. That's what empathy requires, you listening rather than responding so much. Try a little trick of listening to a person and really taking in their story and their perspective, and then analyze that and then respond. Don't be so quick to respond while they're explaining something, or while they're in the middle of sharing who they are, how they feel, and all that, because you're not really respecting the person, and you can't truly empathize with them if you're not really listening. It requires you to truly listen to people and to value their points of view. Excuse me, the mic fell over. Value their points of view and really take that into account and absorb it in a way of where you can put yourself in their shoes for that temporary amount of time, whatever it may be. So I think we should have more empathy. We should share more of our emotions with each other, and we should be open to our emotions because we have them for a reason, and there's no shame in that. There's no shame in being open with people and not judging them so much, Like, you don't have to be so critiquey all the time. Like, if it's not constructive, what's the point, really? Like, if you're not furthering that person's mission, you're not furthering that person's growth in any way, what's the point? Truly, So, I do want you guys to know that it's okay to be a down-to-earth person. It's okay to be a good person. You don't always have to be the bad guy. You don't always have to try to fit in and act like you don't care and be desensitized because everyone else is and all that. Like, that doesn't have to be you. If that's not you, don't force that. You know what I mean? Like, I've been there. I've done that. I did it for the majority of my teenage years. I would just try to act like I didn't really care because it was easier to do that because everybody else was doing it. I'm like, I don't want to be an outcast, even though I was without even trying. It is what it is. So be open-minded. If that's you, that's you. Don't try to change that. It's a beautiful thing. It's truly beautiful when you can empathize with people because you learn more. You become more advanced. You have so much of an advantage that way because you are opening yourself to more experiences and you are helping yourself grow mentally and physically, So that's what I wanted to tell you about that, guys. And I did update the podcast. There's 2 new episodes out so far. I'm going to try to do another one soon. And I've just been really trying to update it as much as possible because I realized I had a huge chunk of time that I didn't update it. And I felt terrible because I'm like, oh my gosh, there's people who love listening rather than watching. So that is extremely important. I'm trying to update this and that and make sure that they work as a unit because it's all about mental health, self-love, self-care, self-improvement, basically, just self-improvement. And that's what I care about most, and I know you guys care about that as well because it's who we are. It's what we're here to do, improve every day. So please be sure to check out the podcast in the description down below for those 2 new episodes that I have out now. And there's one on this subject of empathy as well, and I dive into being an empath. But like I said, I'm going to do a separate video on that. I don't want to do that in this one because that's really deep and it requires a lot of detail and all that stuff. So that's another time for another day. But thank you guys for tuning into these videos and for following me and being a part of this journey. It truly matters to me, and you all truly matter to me, and I love you very much. So please be sure to stick around and let's all grow together. So I will see you guys in the next video. You can find me on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter, and I'll have my social media links down below as well. I always do have that there, so feel free to reach out to me there. But yeah, that's what I want to say for this video today, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I really appreciate you, and have a beautiful day, night, wherever you are, and take good care of yourself. And I will see you in the next video, my love bug babies. Goodbye, and Stitch is going to say goodbye as well, guys. Bye.